Good morning, students. So, welcome to today's video lecture. In the past lecture, the previous lecture, we have discussed about some design problems of related to bolted joints. So, today we'll start a new topic, that is welded connections. So, after this bolting and welding, this will complete our connection part. Then we'll move to tension members. So, welded connections. What is a welded connection? When two structural members are joined by means of weld. Okay, the connection is called a welded connection. Weld is also a type of connection, like how you have how we used to join the structural members, steel plates using bolts, using a additional plate. Then we make holes and then we used to join the members by bolting. But here, in case of welding, it's a process in which you heat up, okay, the metal in the molten state, and it is being fused. Both the metals are fused using a filler material by an electrode, and when the metal solidifies, the members are connected. So this is nothing but a welded connection. So now what are the advantages of using welded joints? The first advantage is the welded connection achieve more efficient use of materials. It is the only process that produces a one-piece construction. So it is a one-piece construction. There is continuity in the member. Okay. What happened in case of rivet or bolted joints or pin joints? The two members, the connection, whether it is bolt or a rivet or a pin, the connection, whenever the connection is being added, there is a discontinuity. Whereas in case of welding, if the surfaces are properly, if the metals are or the plates are properly welded, you'll not realize that it's a different. Those are two different materials. Okay, it looks like a single one-piece construction. So this is one of the major advantage. Second is the speed of fabrication and erection is much more. While erecting any structure, you need connections. Okay, we have discussed the requirement or the necessity of connection. Why do we use connection? In the previous bolting session, we have discussed these things. Now, the speed of erection and fabrication. Fabrication, this is done on the site or it may be done in the workshop. Okay, erection means erecting the structure in the site. So this speed is very it is very speedy. I mean, you can fasten up the process and you can compact the construction schedules, okay, by using welding. So usually bolting takes higher time than welding. And welding saves weight and consequently cuts cost. So it is economical. Connecting steel plates are reduced or eliminated. So if you since see in bolting you need extra plates, okay, extra cover plates, extra angles, okay. Otherwise, how will you connect it? You need plates or and you need bolts. Plates and bolts essentially weigh more. So apart from the main members, okay, you need extra additional plates and bolts and all. So this will increase the weight. Okay, and but in steel structure, your economy is related to weight. The more the structure is heavier, the more it costs. So it is economical as compared to bolted structures. So there are no deduction for holes. Since in bolting or riveting, you have to make holes to insert the bolt. But here in this case, there is no deduction in the bolt. So there is no question of net area. The entire gross area will be used up in resisting the or carrying the loads. Now welded joints are better for fatigue loads, impacts of vibration. Where dynamic load is concerned, or where there is reversal of stresses, or where there is vibration, if the structure is subjected to vibration, then the structure can take stresses alternately. That means sometimes it might take compressive or sometimes it might take tensile stress. In such cases, welded joints are better. Bolts are not preferred where structure is subjected to vibration, because if it vibrates, the bolt will loosen up. But this is not the case in welded joints. So if you make an overall comparison between welded joints and bolted joints, so, welded joints are much ahead. Okay, so in today's construction industry or in today's steel industry, welded joints are always preferred over bolted joints. Okay, unless it is absolutely necessary where welding cannot be done, then you go for bolted joints. Now see, uh, types of weld. Like bolted joints, we had various types of joint. Now it's welding also we have various kinds of joint. That is fillet weld, butt weld, and lap weld. Okay, lap weld is same like in case of bolted joint. How lap joint was there, same. Only instead of bolt, you will do welding in the material. Okay, like suppose this is a plate. In this figure, you can see if this is a plate and this is another plate. Okay, so this is overlapping on this, so you will connect this with this weld. So this is a lap weld. Butt weld means both the welds are in the same line. Both the members that are to be jointed by welding are in the same line or in the same plane. So how we used to do in butt weld for bolting, same, but instead of cover plates in the connecting part, you do welding. Okay, fillet welds, these are used like you need to connect this member, this vertical member with this horizontal member, this member with this member. Okay, so you'll do fillet weld when the members are out of plane, or when the members to be connected are not in the same plane. Usually they are perpendicular. How do you connect two members which are perpendicular? You cannot do that by bolting. You can do, but then it will increase the cost and stuff. It will even not be economical. So directly you can use fillet welds. So fillet welds are most commonly used in welding. These are the most uh, generally used type of weld in welding. They are normally easier to make and require less material preparation and are easy to fit than butt welds. Okay, so then again there are slot weld. Sometimes the length is not sufficient. Okay, length of weld that you are providing, strength of the weld will depend on the length of the weld. Now if the length is not sufficient, it will not get the sufficient strength. So what we do is we provide slots in this way. So this is all welding. All this shaded portion you are seeing, this is our welding. That means this surface has been welded with this surface. Okay, this is butt weld. This is T weld, T fillet weld. Fillet weld because this is perpendicular section, so this is connected by this using a fillet weld. Okay, now see, these are the type of butt welds. Okay, how you are done. So this is square. Square means here and here both will be same. Okay, this is the material that you are jointing, and you are using the filler material here to connect the other plate. Okay, so this is for groove weld, or it is commonly called as butt weld. Okay, single V means the filler is entirely penetrating this entire depth of the, or the entire thickness of the plate. So this is single V. Double V means double penetration. From here also you are penetrating, from here also you are penetrating in the shape of V. So this is welded from this side, this is welded from this side. Remember one thing, double penetration, double V is always preferred over single V whenever strength, as far as strength is considered, because what happens is when you make single V, it does not guarantee complete penetration of the entire thickness of the wave. But when you make double V, entire penetration is being done. So this point is should be remembered while designing the considering the design thickness for welded joints. Okay, U, this entire thing is made, entire welding is done using the U shape. W, same like double V, like this. Okay, then you have single T in the shape of here. See, this is T, this part and this part, this is T joint. Double T means here and here, both sides you are having, just like double V, double T. Single bevel. Bevel means something inclined. Okay, some inclined portion. So you are joining here at an incline. So this is welded like this. Double bevel means from here and from both sides you are inclining. So this will be double bevel. Single J, J shaped like this. J shaped is preferred. So these are some of the common shapes in which the butt weld or the groove weld is done. Now, what is to be done in case, so this is in case of fillet weld. Fillet weld, you have mainly two, there are three types, but mainly we'll consider convex and concave. Convex is, see, this is the member that is at an angle, at some angle, may be perpendicular, may not be perpendicular. So this angle may be 0 to 90, in between, something between 0 to 90. Sometimes this member may be like this, inclined like this. So depending on the angle of connection, that we'll study in detail while designing the fillet welds. So this see, when you weld this material with this material, the weld Surface of the weld is convex like this. You know about convex lens and concave lens. Convex lens is like this. Concave lens surface will be like this. This will be reverse. So surface will be convex like this. In concave, so when it is convex, the surface is in tension like this. It is being pulled from this side and this side, so it will be in tension. So again, when it is in when the surface is concave like this, okay, reverse of this, the welding is done like this, concave fillet weld. So surface is again in tension. Mitered weld, this is another kind of weld which is not being used that much. This is also another kind where there is no tension and all. Okay, simply you are connecting both the sides without making any surface concave or convex. This is simple straight. The surface is straight. So this is mitered joint. It is used, but generally these two types of welds are used. Now let us come to this welding process. How this welding process is being carried out. So this needs to be understood. How you do the welding, how you are connecting the two members that are being welded. So it comes welding. You have to understand welding consists of joining two steel sections by establishing a metallurgical bond between them through application of pressure or by fusion. So suppose you have two materials, okay, two metals like this. Let us take this. This is one metal, this is one metal. Two metals or two plates, steel plates you can say. Then you have to connect this. Okay. Now what we do is we apply pressure, any kind of pressure, and when we apply pressure, we melt the two surfaces by producing a very high degree of temperature. So when you produce very high degree temperature, this surface will metal, these surfaces of the metal will melt, and in the molten state only the filler is filled. Filler material is filled. How it is filled? Using electrode. The electrode is being run on the surface. Suppose this member and this member, this needs to be connected along this length. So you'll run the filler by the electrode along this direction, entire thing. You have to run. You'll understand if you see how welding is done. You go to any fabrication shop, you go to any steel workshop, you'll see how welding is done. So welding is mainly done through two processes, that is arc welding and gas welding. Arc welding is done when the high temperature that is produced by an electric arc, that is arc welding. That is done by electricity. Very high voltage electricity is given and arc is produced, and using that temperature the arc welding does. Another is gas welding. Oxyacetylene gas is used in cylinders to produce that arc. So sometimes you might see gas, very long cylinders. That is oxyacetylene gas cylinders that are being used in gas cylindering. Normally it is used in workshops and factories and small fabrication shops. You'll see arc welding. Okay. Now through application of pressure or by fusion. So once you melt it, it will, or by pressure, application of high pressure, high temperature, you melt the thing, and then the metal and the filler are allowed to fuse. How it is allowed to fuse? It is allowed to get cooled down. When it cools down, it solidifies and the bond is being formed. So the bonding is the main criteria here. You have to form a bond between the two metals. Okay. Now the bond between the metal is produced by reducing the surfaces to be jointed to a molten state. As I stated earlier, the surfaces are reduced to molten state and then allowing the molten metal to solidify. So when the molten metal is solidified, the union is complete. After cooling only, the welding will be complete. Now in the arc welding process, the intense heat is produced by an electric arc to produce a temperature of around, see the temperature, 36,000 degrees centigrade between the section to be welded and the electrode. Now when you run the electrode, after the application of the arc, when you run the electrode, the temperature of the surface of the metal to be jointed and the electrode is 36,000 degrees centigrade. At this temperature, any metal will melt. Okay, this is beyond the melting point of any metal, so that metal will melt down and it will be in the liquid state. Then these two plates, these two metals which are required to be jointed, they will be allowed to fuse using the filler material. Okay, they'll be fused, and once it's fused, it is allowed to cool down and then it solidifies. When it solidifies, your welding process is completed. At the tip of the electrode melts the filler material and the base metal, thus liquefying them in a common pool called crater. So in one crater, in one common pool, both liquefied metal will are allowed to cool, and as the areas solidify, the metals are joined into one solid homogeneous piece. Now, by moving the electrode along the joint to be welded, the surfaces to be joined are welded together along the length. That is why the welding is done always along the length of the members to be jointed. This is the length of the welding is very important criteria while designing, whether butt weld or whether it is fillet weld. This length of the weld is one important criteria that we should remember. Now, defects in the weld. Once you have done the welding, now there will be some defects. Usually these defects are seen. Why these defects are seen? It will discuss. Now, these are some of the defects that are shown. First is the incomplete fusion or the lack of fusion. Now, this is the failure of the base metal to get completely fused with the weld metal. It is caused by rapid welding and also because of foreign materials on the surface. Now, when you are running the electrode very rapidly, okay, very rapidly or very quickly, you're not allowing them the time to get solidified. At that time, the fusion of these two metals is not complete. It is incomplete. So this will produce a defect in the weld, which is called as defect due to lack of fusion. See here. Entirely, it should have been this V shape. This should have come here only, but it is fusion is only partial. Fully these two metals have not fused. This is for fillet welding. This is for butt welding. Both those things they are shown. Incomplete penetration. Incomplete penetration is another defect. It is the failure of the weld metal to penetrate the complete depth of the joint. So now when you run the welding electrode, the entire depth sometimes may not be penetrated. When you are fusing this metal, the entire depth of this thickness has to get penetrated. Otherwise, the welding will not be efficient. So this is because of this incomplete penetration. This failure, this kind of defect will occur. So it is normally found with single V and bevel joints. This single V. As I told you here, whenever you are making this single V, usually what happens if you're not doing it properly, this entire penetration of the depth is not achieved. Okay, but or whenever using single bevel, single V or single bevel in these two types of joint, this kind of defects are occurred. That is why always a double V joint is preferred, because when you are using double V, entire depth of entire thickness of the plate is being utilized. The entire complete penetration is being done. Next is porosity. Now, porosity occurs due to voids or gas pocket entrapped in the welding while going. Now, when this solid molten metal is allowed to solidify, allowed to cool, sometimes because of presence of air, there will be small bubble-like structure which are called as gas pocket, because this gas will start releasing from the surface. Because of this, there will be pores formed on the surface of the weld, which is called as porosity. Now, once the formation of the porosity will reduce the strength of the weld. So you'll find little dot, little small pockets that is being produced because of the escaping of the gas. Next is slag inclusion. Okay, now what is slag inclusion? Slag inclusions are metal oxides and other solid compounds which are sometimes found as elongated or globular inclusion. So some metal oxides are always present. Okay, while you are running the electrode, some metal oxides or some other compounds are sometimes found as elongated or globular inclusion, as included in the weld metal. Okay, now being lighter than the molten state, these float and rise to the weld surface, from where these are removed after cooling of the weld. Now, excessive rapid cooling of the weld may cause them to be trapped inside the weld. Now, this has to be, when the slag inclusions are formed, this has to be removed. Now, if you do the cooling of the weld, if you do the solidification or the cooling of the weld is done rapidly, some of these inclusions, these metal oxides will remain trapped inside the weld. It sometimes may not be removed completely. Because of that, it will produce some defect. So this is called a slag inclusion. Undercutting. Undercutting is the local decrease of thickness of parent metal at the weld toe. The toe at the here. So here this will be decrease in thickness, throat thickness. Okay. Another thing we need to understand here is this is one leg, this is one leg, and this thickness from here to here, this forms a right angle triangle. Okay. So from this distance to this hypotenuse, center of the hypotenuse, this is called as the throat of the weld. and these lengths are called as the size of the weld. Throat of the weld should be equal to 1 by root 2 of size of the. This will discuss while designing the fillet welds. While discussing the design of fillet. Okay, so these are some of the defects that are being found in weld defects. In the next class, we'll discuss about inspection of the welds and design of butt weld and fillet weld. How this designing is being done. Some specifications we'll discuss. How the specification is being utilized for the design procedure, and fillet welds for truss members. Okay, these some of the topics we'll discuss. Design of intermediate fillet welds or plug and slot welds, and we'll take up some design problems for welding. Okay. Thank you.